Good morning and welcome to Thursday morning's writing task for Year 6. As I said on Monday, all of the written tasks this week are connected to the video Pigeon Impossible. But the task that you are doing today and tomorrow is going to be the same task over 2 days because you're going to be planning and then writing a short narrative. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Some of the things we've been doing this week, so the speech on Wednesday and the planning and the short writing that you're doing tomorrow, will help you when you come to the writing lessons for next week, because we're going to be starting looking at a new piece of writing next week, and we're going to be following more the way we teach writing when you're in school, so that you are preparing and building up words and language and planning before you actually start the writing. So hopefully some of the things you've done this week will really help you with that. Anyway, without any further ado, the nasty writing for today is practicing subordinating conjunctions. So there's a photograph on the website, quite an interesting photograph that you could interpret in lots of different ways. And what I've asked you to do is to write 3 or 4 sentences. Don't forget, in school we literally spend 3 to 4 minutes on this. So if you only write 2 sentences in that time, that's fine. But we're aiming for about 3 to 4 in the past tense using subordinating conjunctions. And my challenge is, can you put the subordinating conjunction in a different position in different sentences? So I'm going to, although I saw a wobub is great, I've also put this list up here with a few more conjunctions if you feel like you always use the same ones. So I'm going to choose one off of here today, a different one. I'm going to start with even if, because I'm imagining there's a little boy here with his dad. I just need to put my pen on, like I always forget to do in class. Oh, I don't know if purple is the best colour for you to see it. I'll put it on blue. Even if, and I'm thinking they don't know what's going to be at the end of that tunnel. So even if they didn't know what was at the end, he was just happy to finally be with his dad again. So I was looking at the photo, I imagined it was a boy with his dad, and I thought they could just be going for a walk in the countryside, but maybe also they could be on some kind of adventure and they don't know what they're going to find at the end of this leafy tunnel. So that's what I was thinking of. Even if they didn't know what was at the end, he was just happy to finally be with his dad again. Now I think I've missed some punctuation from that. Have a look at it and see if you think you know where I need a comma to separate the 2 clauses. You got an idea? Even if they didn't know what was at the end, he was just happy to finally be with his dad again. Now the challenge was, could we put it in different order? So I could begin my sentence, he was just happy to finally be with his dad again, even if they didn't know what was at the end of the tunnel. That time I don't think I need a comma to separate the clauses, because when the conjunction is in the middle of the sentence, we don't need to use a comma. You can hear that when you read it. Maybe as well, I could have my sentence and then add a relative clause at the end, so that my subordinating clause is in the middle of the sentence. Have a go at that today. That's your nasty writing. And your mission over the next couple of days, as I just said, is to imagine you're creating an audio book telling the story of Pigeon Impossible. So you're almost narrating or telling the story for children to listen to, and we need to make it just as exciting as the video. So today we're just going to be planning the story. As I said, it's a short piece of writing. It's not 5 pages of narrative writing. So you might aim at doing a side of A4 or something. And I have said try to do 3 paragraphs. And I think most of you would be able to do that. But if you're somebody that knows you find it harder to, takes you a longer time to write 3 paragraphs, you could aim for 2 paragraphs. So what I've got here is events, what happened. So a lot happens in each paragraph of my story. I've put where I think the paragraphs could begin and end to help you, but you can always change that if you want to. But I can't necessarily include every single little detail because then I might end up writing a lot. I mean, if you want to do that, that's great. But I'm going to, I think, in my first paragraph, I would include, I would set the scene with Walter Beckett on the bench, I think. So that's my first event. Then I would have the pigeon appear and look at the bagel. So you can see I'm just making really simple notes here. And then I think I would have the pigeon. I would explain how he goes inside the briefcase. And then I would talk about Walter Beckett throwing the bagel to get the pigeon out through bagel. And then it lands on the red button and the missile launches, doesn't it? So that's where I would end the first paragraph. So that's what I'm going to write about in the first paragraph. And then here, I'm going to put any useful words or language that will help me with my writing tomorrow. So I might want to use expanded noun phrases. So remember, that's just nouns with adjectives to describe them. I might like to think about senses and feelings. So not just what you can see, but also telling the reader what can be heard or smelt or felt at that part of the story. And also some fronted adverbials, some adverbs to tell the reader a little bit more about what's going on. So I was thinking, if I think about paragraph 1 and I start at the beginning with Walter Beckett on the bench and the pigeon getting the bagel, straight away I've got an expanded noun phrase in my head for the pigeon. So I could always leave a space to come back and talk more about Walter Beckett on the bench. I'm going to start with the pigeon, the scrawny, greedy pigeon. So that's, and then I need to now think of some ways I can describe the scene when Walter Beckett is quietly sat on the bench doing some work and about to eat his breakfast bagel. So I need to come back to that in a minute because I've also got some ideas in my head about the pigeon noticing the bagel and being attracted to the bagel. So I'm going to describe the bagel using my sense of smell. So the pigeon is attracted to the enticing odour. So really, all I'm doing here is coming up with some good words and ideas that I might be able to use in my story tomorrow. The enticing odour of the bagel. And I might even write here, attracted, so I can remember that word for tomorrow. Attracted the pigeon. Oh, and I've just thought of a good fronted adverbial. Without warning. So when the pigeon suddenly goes for the bagel, it takes Walter Beckett completely by surprise. So you might get more than that in each paragraph, but just any good language, any good words that you think you can use tomorrow. And then we talked about including speech yesterday in our writing. So is there any speech I want to use? I could look back at Wednesday, couldn't I? And just use some of the speech from Wednesday's writing or some of the speech from my nasty writing. Although no, that wouldn't really help because that was about Harry Potter. But some of the speech from yesterday's writing would really help me there. So I would put my speech here that I can use in my writing tomorrow. So that's what you're doing today. You're planning 2 or 3 paragraphs of your story and you're going to be writing your story tomorrow. So good luck with that today and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.